Imagine living with a wound for over 1 year now and has refused to heal due to a particular medical negligence. If you were to be in that person's shoes, what would you have done? Welcome to House of More Media. My name is Prismore, and today I have a guest who is in the name of Madam Rose, a 42-year-old teacher, battling in pain for a wound that could have been healed in a week. Mama Rose, you are welcome to House of More Media. You are looking beautiful.
Thank you. Same to you.
Oh, thank you too. Okay, so tell us about yourself. What do? You said you were a teacher. Yeah. Which school do you teach? Are you in the public or the private sector?
Okay. I've been teaching for the past 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Probably 22 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I've been in the private sector for long, all this while. And I do teach and I supervise as well. Sometimes when there's vacancy or room for heading, I do. So as now, I am heading a school in one of the private schools in Accra. Then in the course of my leadership or my job, I came across like this accident happened to me, which was unaware. It took me by surprise.
So before we come to the incident, what actually happened? Right now, are you still teaching?
Yeah, I'm still working.
You're still working?
Yeah.
Now, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened.
I lived in a house where the school is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a lot of pressure on me, and it was giving me sleepless nights. So that fateful day was Farmers Day, 3rd of December. I couldn't sleep, and it was almost 5:30 to 6.
Well, what was wrong with you? Why were you unable to?
I was helpless, like I couldn't sleep. I had a lot to do in the office, a lot of work to do in the office. Okay. So I was so tense that I couldn't sleep. I had to sit down and think and know what step to take. You understand? So I was too loaded, and it was giving me sleepless nights.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to come out and take some fresh air outside. I want to release tension or stress. I don't know how to put it, but I feel like coming out of the house. So normally the dogs are being chained at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yes. So thinking the dogs have been chained, I came out at 5:30, which is 1.5 hours after they have been locked. Not knowing they were not locked. The in charge overslept. Yeah. So I came out and I was roaming, going around the compound, and the attack came. These 2 dogs bounced on me. So by the grace of God, I was able to escape to the entrance, and they blocked the entrance. So I slipped, and they were trying to pull me with my leg. So as I was pushing my body inside, they were pulling, they were using their teeth to pull my leg out. So as they pull, they tear off the skin. So 2 had to go, screaming, nobody heard me. Nobody heard me until one heard the scream and called for attention, called the household that wake up, this is what is happening. When they got there, they had done justice to me. So I was lucky my legs were attacked, but my body was inside.
If I can get you correctly, you're trying to say that they were selling the dogs in the house, or the dogs were just there to protect the school?
They sell them.
They sell the dogs.
And the person in charge is the only one that takes care of the dogs and knows the dogs. None of the household knows the dogs, or the dogs
They're not familiar
with the dogs. Okay. Yeah, so that was what happened. So before the dogs are released, we are all inside. And before they are locked, they are locked before we come out. That is what happens. So they don't get in contact with anybody apart from the caretaker. Yeah. Okay. That is what happened.
I think people can really resonate with what you are saying. Can we see your leg? Can we? Yeah.
It's so difficult for me to show it in public.
You are a survivor.
Yeah, I'm a survivor.
That makes you strong.
Exactly.
For us to even be sitting here, talk about it, and talk about the reason why it is now how it is, even makes you more stronger. And I believe, though it was a mistake that happened, that could have been avoided. People really have to see so that they can understand the pain that you went through and how it got worsened as we continue the story.
Okay. So with this, I can say it is almost 80% healed. 80%. So I'm using herbal now. And since they asked me to expose it because of the wrong things I put on, I can't expose it. It will just rub them off. So I had to give it a little bandage to cover it up.
And this is for a year and 2 months.
Yes, 1 year, 2 months.
Tell us about, so what, when the people came, what actually happened? Did they rush you to a hospital?
Yeah, I was rushed. First hospital was, I was at Odoko, so the nearest was La Paz community. They are good, so we went there. When we went there, I was in a taxi. They called the nurses to come check on me or take me out of the car and send me inside to be treated. Then they saw the scene and they said no. So they had to go and call the doctor to come and have a review. The doctor asked them to bring me into the emergency. I was carried there. When he examined it, he said no, I should be referred to Kolibu. So there was nothing like letter issued or anything. Yeah. They wanted to bandage it. I said, no, nobody should bandage it for me. You should let me go like that. So I was rushed to Kolebu emergency.
If you're not getting the picture you're trying to, just look at the screen. You will see a picture of how the thing was at first and the fresh one, so that you can easily resonate with what we are saying. This is virtually a bone that is out.
Yeah. They stripped all this flesh up. So you could see my bone. You could see my bone. And it is healing. Like as it's healing, you see it's reducing in size. Yeah, like the length was really somewhere here. Yeah. Both front sides, everywhere. This part was off.
So you are now taken to Kolebu. What happened there?
Yeah. So I was taken to emergency.
Okay.
When I went there, they attended to me. They gave me some painkillers and other things, and they started the process. There was this young lady doctor who attended to me and gave orders to the nurse in charge, who was a female, to wash it thoroughly and bandage it and apply medicine to it. So they used what I was surprised to see liquid soap, the hand washing liquid soap.
Were they washing their hands or?
That is where they used to, it was where their sink was. And that is what they took from the sink.
To come and wash what?
To come and wash my legs.
Your legs. They
yes,
use detergent to wash your wounds.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was the first treatment before they added the ointment, whatever, and they bandaged it for me.
Who gave that order? That
it was a doctor.
The doctor gave them the order to use detergent to wash your wounds.
Exactly.
Please continue.
Okay. So after, I was asked to report every day. Every day. So I came the second day. And after they treated me, the doctor came around. The one in charge of my case came around. And she passed the comment that, and now we're the minimum found. She said just like that too. She was talking to the nurse, the female nurse daughter.
And you heard
then
it?
I heard it because I was right there. Then she left. So I told the nurse that please refer me to surgery. Let me go and do surgery because it is sports. You told me. The nurse himself told me that papa
So we employ people to take care of us, pay them with our taxpayers' money. And instead of you people there to be able to prepare patients psychologically, mentally, so that they can even heal psychologically to reflect in the physical, you downgrade their spirit, dampen their spirit, and tell them that now we're there in your shade. That alone kills the spirit of the patient. There is no hope. There is little hope they have. You rip it from them. How did you even get there? As a doctor, as a nurse, or as a medical professional, how did you get there? Is that how you were taught in school? I think it's high time we pay particular attention to these things. How? And to the fact you even use detergent, hand washing detergent. Obi cry how can you say actually use some spirits or something to just you use liquid soap. Did you see the picture on the screen? Obi did liquid soap about who for nine to say. Now so Dr. Brana can crash some will say. And then with the only and then where were you employed? Why did you go to the medical school? To me, if you can't even do anything about it, there is a nice way to say it. Not just like that. Anyway, let's continue. So you ask them that you opted for surgery.
Yes.
And what did they say?
And the guy told me, "Are you sure you have money to pay? You pay a lot of money there." I said, "I don't have a problem with that. Just take me there. My life is at risk. Take me there. This thing, I cannot keep this. Okay, I'm working. Moreover, I'm also a minister of God and I need to work for God. I need this leg to work for me. Okay, so just refer me there." He said, "Okay, tomorrow we'll think about it." That was Saturday. He said they'll think about it. Exactly. So Saturday, Sunday came, I went for dressing and I asked the same question again. "So when are you taking me?" The guy said, "Okay, since today is weekend, let's make it Monday. Your letter will be ready on Monday so that you can go to the surgical ward." And
so assuming that you told them that you didn't have money, what would have happened to your leg?
Then I just can't imagine. I do sit down and ask myself that question. That if I had not requested for surgery, they will not take me to surgery. They will treat me like an ordinary person and just manage my wound for me, and that will be it.
That is not how.
Because I'm not supposed to request for surgery.
Exactly. You know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So you suggest, "Oh, patient, this is what we require of you." And if the person can afford it, you go ahead. You don't just say, "Now Oscar."
Exactly.
So the person's life doesn't matter. It is only the rich that have.
It's pathetic.
Very pathetic.
Yeah.
Very, very pathetic.
It is.
That we have to be positive for once. We have to be positive as people, and we have to wake up and be responsible people. We are there and we are saying those officials are not working, they are not doing their work well, the president is doing this, doing that. What you in office, you in your office that you are watching me, what are you doing? What are you doing as an individual? Charity begins at home. And yours began at the hospital. And they are telling us after they come and blame government. This is how it starts. We are not positive at all in any way. Really, somebody is in pain, and instead of you to help the person, you are just creating more anxiety and giving the person options that have no hope. So, did you go through with the surgery?
Yeah. Finally, Monday came and they wrote a letter for me without address, no signature, nothing. And I didn't also check. But when they referred, they directed me to the place. We went with my family, we all went. The senior surgical doctor saw the reports and said, "Wow, who wrote these reports? And why are they now bringing you? Day one, they are supposed to refer you. They had to call for the team to come and review your case. Then we take it from there." That is what they were supposed to do. So he was asking me, I said, "I don't know the name of the doctor." Because I was in place and I don't know where I was. So you see, I was confused. So the name of the doctor, I don't think they'll even tell you. So immediately he called the place, the emergency, and he asked, who did this? Because I wanted to sue the person. You sent a letter without address, no signature of a doctor. That is serious. So the man was so hurt and he was touched and told me that I'll take care of you. So do you have money? I said, doctor, whatever be, I am ready. So you have to go to theater today. If you keep long on this leg, you don't get it right. So you have to go today. So we had to wait. They were doing arrangement. The wards were full, no bed. General ward, no bed. They said the private is ready. I said, okay. But it's quite expensive. I said, no problem. So far as they can take care of me. So they booked, and in the course of the process, it was late. I entered the ward around 6. So the doctor said, then tomorrow morning we'll take you to the theater. So I was taken to the theater the following day after I did my deposit.
So
very day.
Did they cut any part of your body to fix?
I was in the process. They told me they'll do the debriding first before they'll do the how do you call it, the grafting. Yeah. But they told me before earlier on that I'll be going to the theater 3 times.
Okay.
Yes. So I did the first stage, that's the debriding.
What goes into that?
That is when the tissues, the worn out tissues and the unwanted cells and flesh that are torn will be scraped off.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole experience.
So when they did everything and I came out, I saw my wound in a larger form. Very large. Yeah. Very large. And I was surprised, but what can I do? They are doing their job. And in the theater, a lot of things happened. Yeah, I went through a lot of things. So it was not easy.
So when did you finally give up? Not to go to the hospital again?
I gave up when after the first surgery, and my bill shoot to 10,000. Then my family was like, wow, we don't have any money anymore. So I was booked for the second surgery. And there were some errors made during the first. So they had to go and correct it.
Which errors were those?
You know, they were talking to each other, the first opening.
Okay.
They have something called the first opening after 5 days. When you come out of the theater after 5 days, they open the wound. So all the tests will be around. The team doctors will be around. Plus some of the nurses that will dress the wound here. So they'll come and they'll discuss. So the senior doctor was there. The one who operated on my leg too was available, and 2 other doctors. So they were, I think, 4 in number plus 2 nurses. Yeah, 3 nurses. So they said, you could see they were communicating. Now I could see hole in my legs, like you see this part, the tissues were broken. Yes, so they had to stitch. Yeah, some of the bones, the tiny bones were destroyed. They had to cut all that. So you could see holes there. You see some opening that needs to be covered. So the senior doctor was telling the one who operated me that, oh, this place you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way.
Why, the person who did the surgery on you, is the person a junior doctor?
I would say it's a teaching hospital, because that is what I asked. It says they are all learning. They are all learning, so everybody must try his hand. They'll study the case, somebody has to come and work. Senior doctor said he will operate me, and they said they want to do it. So they took it out.
Sometimes you think about these things and you wonder what kind of country
Exactly.
are we?
Exactly.
Where some people are using prosthetics to do surgery. Real human being, they're not in his house. Why do you have prosthetics there? So, okay, the person is having an issue with their leg. We have a prosthetic leg there with all the features. Then, okay, assuming this is how the real person's leg looks, let's operate upon that first before we transfer it to the main human being. Near the human being, rehearsals. You can say how say anya say baby when time some copy statistics. Who does that? Unqualified people everywhere. That we train them, they are not training. They are not trainable, they are not teachable. And I just having rehearsals for the people's lives. Look at the pain she has to go through because of somebody's negligence. What even baffles my mind is the fact that you use detergent to even wash a wound. Liquid soap to wash a wound like this that you saw on the screen. I mean, come on. It's high time we bring a stop to all these. So, you know, what do you suggest in your situation, right? But before then, Nippon are responsible for the dog, so what did they do?
Okay, they took, you know, it's my own junior brother. It has become a family thing, so you can't say much about it. So the only thing, they have to take that dog out of the house. So before I came home, the dogs were no more. Yeah, they were left with the little ones, yes.
Interesting. A lot of people are going through this whole thing, and it's very unfortunate that we've not heard some stories, but thankfully we are beginning to hear them, and it's time people wake up and take responsibilities of certain things. What do you think government should do?
There's a lot the government must do, especially in the medical field. There's a whole lot. Because sometimes they are lacking materials to work with. There are no enough medicine to work. Because when I entered the theater, like the one coming to operate on me was just discussing with his other colleague that share a whole colleague, yenise. And the senior came out and said, why should you be saying that in front of a patient? What they are coming to use for me, something was not available. And they needed it so much.
Can you imagine?
And he was complaining bitterly. So he just pop out and say, hey, Yedi, you don't say this in front of a patient. But they are nice with me, so they'll call me, oh, Reverend, and that's it. But I was observing. Then when I went to the theater, on the theater table, I came around. Whilst the operation was going on, I came around. It was not completed. So I started screaming.
How? How did they come out? How?
I don't know. Whether my blood was too strong, I don't know.
Were you not given anesthesia?
I was given.
So what happened?
So later, the senior doctor apologized, saying that the anesthesia they are supposed to give to you, they have to divide it into two because an emergency came and they had to solve the problem really quick. And the process how they are going to take this boy through anesthesia, so they have to cut the whole thing short and save lives. So they have to divide what I bought or I deserve.
With your own money.
Yeah.
Sharing is scary.
That is it. So at the theater, I was also doing charity.
Yeah. Reverend. You're a reverend minister.
God be the glory.
But I mean, it's not funny. How can somebody go to the hospital, buy an anesthesia, and it will be divided and given to a part will be given to a different patient because you don't have enough, and she wakes up in the middle of a surgery, and they are stretching, and she's feeling the pain. Oh, come on.
So I got scared. So my second theater, it was something else. I had to pray all day. Because I was booked. I was the 15th patient to be treated that day. My list number was 15. So I was prepared. Anesthesia came. They told me what they are going to do, blah, blah, and all that. And they brought me my gun and everything. I was waiting. I waited till 5, thereof to 6. When one of the doctors popped into my room and word told me that your operation or your surgery has been cancelled for further notice. So they will come to the ward and explain why they have cancelled my second surgery. So, okay. So later at night, that would be around 9, they came and they were saying that because of the bone that is showing, I think they have to give me time to heal a little so that the leg will grow flesh again before they do the grafting.
If I understand what you are saying, they are saying that because of the bone showing, they have to allow the flesh to cover the bone.
Exactly.
But how would the bone heal when the bone is not fixed properly? How can you God, how can you tell us that when now instead of them to focus on the bone first before the flesh, the doctor is telling the patient to focus on the flesh before the bone. Then she say flesh, and if it covers the bone, how then will you fix the bone?
I don't know how. I just don't know.
Come on, this
but you see, sometimes what can you say? You are a patient, you are going through suffering, and anything goes. Whatever they tell you that will make you okay, you say yes to it. But sometimes you need to ask questions. So sometimes I do ask questions a lot. Yes, then they had to explain to me. Get it? So they say when they do the grafting, that is cutting the flesh on the wound, it will not heal because it will peel off because the bone is bare. So it needs to cover. So I had to take 4 months. It was not even healing. The bone was not, this flesh was not, because anytime the flesh comes, what I observe in this thing, what do you call it, the dressing room was, the medicine they use, the chemicals are too much. That the next dressing, you see that there's a new cell forming. The next dressing you come, the new cell has peeled off. That is what is happening. So I asked the nurse, what is going on? I'm not healing. I'm coming for dressing. And the doctor said, I should be coming for dressing for the wound to heal a little before they go and do my grafting. I am keeping long. It's almost 4 months now. So what is happening? And they are telling me, we need to keep the wound alive, like fresh for the grafting. I said, wow.
You have to keep the wound fresh.
Yes. So always it must be like a new wound. Yeah, it must be like a new wound. That is what they say. So that's the blood and the new skin will just.
What do you really want the government to do? If you were talking about that,
they need to focus on this. They need to focus on medical sectors. Especially people are losing their life easily because of a lot of errors that goes on. Some are not financially sound, so they can't afford, and nothing is done about it. They will just leave you to be. If you don't have cash in hand, you cannot be treated. Then you have to die in pain. You have to die in pain. And even, I don't know where some get money from. Because look at people with wounds, accident wounds. You can't walk or take trotro. You have to be in a taxi. Some will tell you, I'm coming from Kaswa, all the way from Kaswa to Kolebu. My fare, in and out, is 300 cedis. Before I finish buying my dressing and my everything used for my wounds, I'm spending like 500 cedis. Every 3 days, some are referred every 2 days. You ask yourself. And these people will be going for surgery not once, not twice, maybe thrice or 4. I have witnessed some who said, look at my leg. I have gone the first one. It didn't work. So I'm told to come again. And they'll tell you it is 50-50. Either it works or it doesn't work. And I asked them, so if it doesn't work, then you have to cut the next part of your thigh and fix it. And they create a wound there too. It takes like 4 months to heal that wound. That is what is happening. So suffering after suffering, like massive pain. Massive pain. And who cares? They only tell you you'll be fine. Nurses will treat you anyhow. If you don't have money to tip them, yeah. If you don't have money to tip them, they'll treat you like trash. I remember one nurse, the way she behaved. I was asking her, do you have beef with me? Do you have a problem with me? Am I not human like you? Do you think I deserve to be here? Do you think I wish to be here? I never expected to be here. But it has happened. Look how you're treating me.
So Maros, what will be your final words?
My final words will be like, I'm pleading to the government, especially Ghanaians, Kolebu 37, to pay more attention to the medical board. So this medical negligence should be avoided, and they should look for solution to some of the problems. Yes, they should look for solution, because a lot are dying when lives could be saved, but a lot are dying because of little negligence. Then also the nurses, they make a lot of errors. When you are going to say it, doctors spend any, but the errors they make, sometimes they discuss it among themselves and they laugh at each other. At the back of the person, when the person leaves, share the hour, share say. So I think there should be somebody guiding them, instructing them. They shouldn't leave it for them alone to do it. They should check all these things and help the needy. Because most of them have no money. Some will be detained because they have been discharged, but there is no money to pay. And when you look at some of them, some will tell you, my relatives have just disappeared. Because nobody will come there to feed you again. And immediately you are being discharged, there's no food for you. So imagine, no relatives are coming, no food for you. You are not supposed to go out. Until what do? That's the question. So they tell you they are waiting for funds. Once a while, maybe radio stations, they come around and they raise funds who wants to be helped. Then they book for somebody, then they pay the person's bill for before the person is being discharged. Some mothers are there, they are still there. Fathers are there. Those who have the money, let's focus on Kolebu. Let's focus on the health center. Because unya pomodia, unye shei. Ubetumi yeska, but unya hondia ubetumi aye bibia. Inti ahwode ni hia si bibia. Wapomudia hia. So if we have the needs, we have the money, let's go there and show some love. Because a lot of people are suffering. Me in my wheelchair, I had to raise funds for some people. They'll come and some of the materials they can't buy. So I have to take some of mine and add it to theirs before they can enter and do their dressing. Obi wa ya shane say come for dressing every 3 days. Sika 70 obeba every week. Oba anakro no na ye peche. You started from day 1 bio. Nti da be no oba hili. Omuhwa na senye ya no mu dia dum. Because I happened to be a victim. Because I couldn't raise the fund anymore, there was no money to further my medication. I had to come home. And try herba.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for speaking, sharing to us your experience with medical negligence.
You're welcome.
Look at the pain she has gone through, and even in the midst of her pain, she's still helping people. She tell you the kind of person she is. I mean, there are lots of things she has said. One thing I also want to say is, I don't know what exactly our health insurance is doing. These are some of the things
health insurance does not work there. No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work in Kolebu.
It doesn't work in certain sectors like surgical sectors. Serious cases doesn't work.
Like our paracetamol, like a better paracetamol.
Exactly.
But I mean, it is high time we pay attention to this. This is where we need the health, how do you call it, national health insurance to be working. So if it's just paracetamol, we don't need it. the surgical wards, tumors, or people are going through hell.
A lot.
Look at what she just said. People need help. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful discussion. I believe that there are a lot of things you have learned, and the various authorities, if they see this video, should do the needful. Now, to the nurses and our various health professionals, we are human beings. Like she said, it can happen to anybody. So think about it. If you're not being positive, one day if the table turns and you're in the same shoes and you don't have any money, would you be happy with what you've been serving people being served to you? Let's be positive for once. Let's be positive. And that is what House of More Media stands for. Be positive. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more captivating stories. My name is Prismore. On to another episode. Bye.